on stolen native land! No Olympics on stolen native land! No Olympics on stolen native land!
My name's Alex Balch. I'm here on behalf of the Fanshawe Social Justice Club. Also, we're associated with the Olympic Resistance Network.
Name who you are and who you represent, if you do, anyone.
Corey Morningstar, Canadians for Action on Climate Change, Council of Canadians, London.
Can you describe what's happening here, the protest and the event?
Well, what's happening here is that we have the London stop of the Coca-Cola and RBC sponsored Olympic torch relay, where they're reproducing the event first introduced by Hitler and Joseph Goebbels in the 1936 Berlin Olympic Games. We are here to protest the event and also to provide free food to those in need. This is aimed to coincide with some of the anti-poverty measures that are actually being taking place, and in solidarity with the people of Vancouver's East Side.
Can you state some of the major issues surrounding the Olympics that have brought you here?
Some of the top ones for me personally, the fact that it is a whitewash of Canada's colonial history and our treatment of the country's Indigenous population. This is making a farce by co-opting some of the symbolism of our First Nations people and using it for corporate profit. Also, there's a gentrification of Vancouver's East Side, which is causing a explosion in that city's homeless population.
Can you explain gentrification just a little
sure.
bit?
They're raising a bunch of low-income housing units to the ground. These are Vancouver has notoriously high real estate prices. So Vancouver's East Side, which is known as around East Hastings Street, is known as Canada's poorest area code, and a lot of the people who are living there have nowhere else to live. They've been living in hotels that have been converted into makeshift low-income housing units, and a lot of these buildings are being raised to the ground in order to build condominiums for the rich and to house a part of the Olympic Village. And so what we've seen is you've seen an explosion in Vancouver's homeless population, and some estimates believe that the Olympics are directly making approximately 6,000 people homeless.
A million trees so far in one place have been just clear cut for the Olympics, and they actually push again the most vulnerable, the exploited, on the Indigenous people off their lands, the homeless. They've created new laws, so homeless people now are not allowed to be in the vicinity. So basically, people who are forced to ask for money or have no shelter and have to sleep on the street are being treated like criminals, when the real criminals are the ones selling off our natural capital for profit. I mean, you notice we don't use the same venues over and over, because that's, what good is that to the capitalist system? We have to keep destroying in the name of profit. So it's about profit at the expense of everyone and everything in the way. At every expense, no one and nothing is spared.
There's the ongoing militarization of Canada. The security budget for the Games is $1 billion. They're going to have more troops, Canadian Forces troops involved. There are going to be more Canadian troops in Vancouver than there currently are in Afghanistan. It's going to be the largest military operation being carried out by the Canadian Forces in the world, and it's happening domestically. They're also bringing in all sorts of crowd control devices, acoustic sonic weapons. They've had.
Can you explain acoustic sonic weapons?
Yeah, they've got these things called the LRADs, or long-range acoustic devices, that are essentially really, really loud amplifiers, which can actually cause bodily harm, can cause nosebleeds, like nausea, dizziness, and the long-term effects are not even really known yet.
Olympics isn't about athletes anymore. It's all driven by corporate profit. It's about pushing Indigenous people, those most vulnerable, about exploiting people and exploiting our Mother Earth and turning our natural capital into profit. So it's on like a smaller scale, but it's the same thing that's happening globally on our planet. It's nothing different. It's the same thing. Our governments no longer are in control. It's corporations controlling our governments. And the sooner we recognize that, the sooner we wake up. And we now have the moral not only only the moral right but the moral obligation to do whatever necessary to save our humanity. Now it's a matter of saving ourselves. We cannot depend any longer on the governments. We have to depend on ourselves. We have to fight. We have to fight to save our species because no one's going to do it but us. Whatever means necessary. The gloves are off. Yeah, we've got to fight. There's no one left standing but us now to fight for our lives, for our very lives.
Okay, and when you say we need to fight, what is it that an average person can do to help bring change?
Well, at this point, I mean, we've tried everything up to Copenhagen. We worked with governments. We were at the table. We worked at what happened in Copenhagen, and I was there, and I can tell you, like, full force police brutality. The people were accosted and pepper sprayed and beaten by cops everywhere, and the real criminals, the CEOs of corporations, sat inside at the table, and they wield the power. So what kind of action? For one thing, get off of, we have to become, self-sustainable, and obviously there's no money in corporations for us to be self-sustainable. Beg, borrow, or steal to get the money to get off the grid. That's the number one thing. Take your money out of the banks, take it out of investments, anything that you have in that drives the economy to grow. We can't grow anymore. We've grown to the point that we've fucked ourselves, and so that's another thing you can do. And now, like, for anarchists and people that believe in direct action, now is the time, because like I said, not only are you morally justified, we're obligated to fight and do whatever it takes. If that means, smashing windows, if that means destroying property, if that means destroying property, shut down tar sands and things that are raping our Mother Earth, that sustains us, then that's what we have to do. The gloves are off. We have no other options at this point. I'm with Canadians for Action on Climate Change, so you can just Google that and I'll come right up. Council of Canadians, who also opposes the Olympics.
Yeah.
And the best site online about the Olympics is No 2010, I think.